Welcome back to the observatory where we chart the constellations of fame, reading the quiet tremors that signal a coming storm. You're watching Secrets Behind the Stars, the space where whispers are given context, where narrative meets nuance, and where your curiosity finds a home. If the disposable buzz of quick gossip leaves you wanting more, settle in. Tonight, the calm veneer of the industry cracked, and the aftershock carries two names that stir admiration, speculation, and a fascination that borders on myth: Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel. Not a vacation rumor. Not a casting leak. Something far larger is taking shape, a choice that, if the murmurs from well-placed circles are true, could redraw the coordinates of their lives, and by extension, the way we see them. What occurred away from cameras? What decision, guarded so fiercely, could set their world into a new orbit? And how does that ripple through to us, the audience that reads meaning into every glance and silence? Stay with me through the final second, because this dive is layered with context, credible hints, and that lingering suspense that makes the heart lean forward. Before we wade in, make a pact with clarity. Subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars right now, activate the notification bell so no update escapes you, and if you value independent, thoughtful storytelling, tap join beneath this video. Your support is the engine that keeps Secrets Behind the Stars moving with integrity. Now, let's unspool the riddle. Why does this moment feel like the world spinning off its axis? The information did not explode. It flickered, caught, and raced along the current of social media, carried by enigmatic captions, breathless comments, and the relentless curiosity that surrounds a couple who learned long ago to protect their inner life from the loud machinery of publicity. That privacy is exactly why every anomaly feels like a flare in the night. The whispers are consistent despite their careful quiet, a pivot is underway, a departure from the comfortable path, and the magnitude suggests a brand new horizon. To understand the stakes, you have to understand who we are dealing with. On one side stands Barış Baktas, a performer whose appeal is not a shout but a steady flame, an actor whose restraint turns scenes into confessions, whose presence lingers the way a melody clings to memory. On the other is Yağmur Yüksel, a woman whose artistic instincts arrive fully formed, the gaze, the posture, the voice calibrated with the kind of detail that makes both high drama and lightness feel honest. Together, they have spent years honoring the boundaries of intimacy, treating their bond as something sacred in a world that fences off nothing. That's why this shift, is not standard industry chatter. It's rare air. Some sources speak in careful tones about a transcontinental move, an audacious relocation, a strategic bet on new territory. Imagine Los Angeles, with its ruthless momentum and siren promise. Or think of a split base. Europe's craft and mood feeding into the global muscle of the United States. Picture the implications. Trace Barış's trajectory, a steady ascent from early roles into layered characters that seemed to open as you watched, as if the scene were breathing. There is a quiet inevitability to the idea of him expanding into international projects. Visualize him in a taut European drama drenched in atmosphere, or anchoring a prestige streaming series that builds a world out of silence and stakes. This is not a reckless leap, it's an evolution, and one that could recalibrate his influence from national treasure to global ambassador for Turkish artistry. And Yağmur? Her compass has always pointed beyond borders, not in a flashy way but with intent. She carries a cinematic elegance that translates across languages, the kind of performer who can command the lens without crowding it. See her in a psychological narrative mapped between rain-slicked boulevards of Paris and the pulsing sprawl of Istanbul. Or drop her into an espionage thriller threading Rome's ancient corridors to Manhattan's steel grids. Or place her at the center of a fashion-inflected drama where the wardrobe is not decoration but grammar. Any of these paths would be bolder than familiar comfort, yet entirely aligned with her aesthetic. Another thread, equally compelling, suggests coordination rather than distance, a shared project. A film. A miniseries. A sharp, auteur-led piece where the personal and the professional fuse not as a publicity stunt but as an extension of truth. The thought alone generates electricity. Barış and Yağmur sharing frames, trading lines, letting the pauses do the talking. A romance that refuses clichés and reaches for honesty. A suspense story that tests love where danger is not a prop but a pressure cooker. A generational narrative that moves between times, or a genre-bending work that blends languages as easily as it blends moods. Their private harmony, usually guarded, could become a language for public art. And that is the fantasy many fans hold close, to see the resonance between them captured in crafted fiction, leaving behind a work that feels like a time capsule and a statement at once. Now, a question for our Secrets Behind the Stars family: which path sets your imagination racing? Is it the vision of each conquering new territories on separate tracks, or the pull of a shared set where their synergy becomes the story? Tell us in the comments whether you're Team Global Conquest or Team On-Screen Fire. Your ideas sharpen our lens, and yes, hit like if you value this deeper read. It helps Secrets Behind the Stars reach those who crave substance. There is also a lower frequency whisper, the one that doesn't roar but resonates, a private milestone. An engagement formally sealed. A wedding quietly planned. The intention to build a family. These choices are not footnotes, they are epicenter moments. They change time frames, they reorder priorities, they create a new logic around work and rest and risk. For artists working at their level, that kind of stability doesn't shrink ambition, it refines it. The roles get more deliberate. The stories align more closely with their inner weather. The production decisions grow thoughtful. When the heart is grounded, courage tends to expand. It's no surprise, then, that the internet has turned into a laboratory of clues, a hand lingering at the end of a private screening, a sparkle caught by a fan camera and zoomed until it becomes a theory, an airport sighting where the body language tells a story no caption can fully capture. If the path they choose leads toward vows or parenthood, expect work that respects the new borders between set and sanctuary. And so we reach the phrase that keeps echoing: everything will change. As a headline, it's dramatic; as an analysis, it's pragmatic. A move west would shift Barry's gravitational pull in the local industry, fewer marathon shoots at home, more long-haul commitments on global stages. If Yağmur travels a parallel path or stands beside him in a coordinated thrust, the impact multiplies. A joint project would not just create noise, it could become precedent, nudging open doors between Turkish talent and international engines, creating a corridor that benefits those who follow. The ripple spreads across the industry. Their decisive tilt toward global platforms might spur new co-productions, cross-pollination of crews and writers, and more elastic formats. At the same time, their partial absence at home would be felt. That gap creates challenges and opportunities. Authors and producers would have to invent new strategies, launch new names, stretch to fill the space. Will the ecosystem rise together in response to their ambition, or will it first stagger under the weight of what shifts? Interesting, too, is how they are choreographing the narrative. Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel are not being carried by rumor, they are setting the tempo. No frantic denials, no impulsive reveals. They are letting the echo build, holding their own center, honoring this moment with restraint. That discipline reads as intention. It suggests a blueprint rather than a sprint, a tomorrow aligned with who they are now. They aren't letting the chatter write their myth, they are writing it themselves, in a script no one has seen but everyone feels. Silence becomes a story. Rumor becomes folklore. Whatever the final reveal, we will be there, tracking each step. If a shared set is confirmed, expect us to bring you the origin tale, the behind-the-scenes texture, and the first images as they surface. If the leap becomes geographic, a one-way ticket, a new office, an agent's handshake in a city of palm trees, we will follow the casting grids, the room meetings, the festival whispers. And if what glitters is not a marquee but a ring, or a date underlined twice in a private calendar, we will guide you through it with respect, celebrating without intruding. Think of the resonance this has already created. Two people who speak softly have made the world listen loudly. Uncertainty has transformed into plot, and that plot has fed the collective imagination. That is the magic of entertainment when it intersects with life. A waltz of possibilities where audiences see pieces of themselves reflected in someone else's daring. Before you go, check our description for a path into our members' circle, where we dive deeper into the craft behind the rumors. Like, subscribe, and tap join to keep Secrets Behind the Stars independent and brave. Until the moment their choice is named, keep imagining, keep watching, and keep this frequency tuned. This has been Secrets Behind the Stars.